Incredible greetings. Incredible greetings, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. How art thou? And I already know I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm just going to go ahead and remove it because I know it's not going to show up. And then we're going to add it back. Got to do that every time now with Facebook. How y'all doing? It's Friday. It's Freestyle Friyay. Okay, so let's do that. So let's go over here and we're gonna go there. And then I also need to do this. Okay, so let's get this all shared out for one. Let's get it all shared out. Okay. Let's go over here. I'm going to take my volume down and let's find okay. Let's get this all. It won't come up. Okay, there we go. Let's see. We should be, boom. We have all friends. So that's how I want. Oh, the first one was friends as well. It actually did it the right. That's so weird. So I'm looking in the first one, it actually did it where it wasn't only me. Maybe because it's Friday. I don't know. But guess what? It's 11 o'clock on the dot. I'm on my live stream teaching my peeps. Mm-hmm. We're gonna learn, elevate, unlock creativity. Pull up with your pen and paper. Okay, I don't know what else to say to that. But y'all know. It's 11 o'clock, y'all. So it's time to hang out with your girl, Shakeya the Professor. And it's freestyle. So I might talk about anything today, okay? We're gonna go highlight and hey, creative peeps. Tap in. All right, so we're going to go there. We're going to share this into the groups. If you're watching the playback of this, I do apologize. I have no producer, okay? I am the producer. I am the director. I have to share this stuff out, okay? At some point, I probably will have someone sitting here and they have the phone and they have access to my exact, like, what's name, and they can go in. I'm just very cautious about giving people, like, the reason why I don't have that is not everybody has access to my social media. And the way that it is set up and with like sharing it out, like, I mean, I could have someone share it out like from their own platform, but it's a little bit different sometimes, like in groups when it comes from you and your account has built up the algorithm in certain groups. So I would have to literally give somebody access to my personal account to be the person to go in and share it. And that ain't gonna happen, Cap. Like, because it's been horror stories. You know, you give someone that kind of access and then, they have the ability to kick you out and lock you out of your stuff. So I'm like, I'd rather sit here and share this out myself unless I had like another account that I take the time to nurture it and build it up and it becomes a primary account like in my groups, or if someone sees that name, they will know, like, okay, that's Shakeya. Like, I got to build that up, because what I will never do is give somebody access to my account. Like, that's just not gonna happen, Captain. Okay. All right, so let me go ahead and do my thing and be the producer of this and share it out. gotta copy this and then post. All right, so now let me go to 365 Creative Academy and let's share that out, okay? We're gonna go ahead and share and paste and share, go to a group, and we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's very sad when your own group doesn't, because I need to do more with my Canva can't do that group. All right, so there we go. All shared out. We're gonna go back to this one, and we're gonna go at highlight. All right, there we go. So we are all shared out and tagged and all that good stuff. All right. All right. Okay, let's get started. How y'all doing? INKcredible Greetings. I am Shakeya, the Professor of HS Inc. 365. We are the home of the Honestly Speaking brand of products, Soloholics Anonymous, and 365 Creative Academy. I don't know. Some days I'm in the mood to go through the whole spiel. Some days I'm not, because I don't really know who's on. But if you've been here and this is not your first time, then you know exactly what Honestly Speaking products are. The best summation paper ink in the world. Paper and ink in the world. 365, 30 seconds, no more 400 degrees, 60 seconds, no butcher paper. You're going to get it done faster, more efficiently, better quality. It's going to change your summation life. So check out our website, shop at hsa365.com. Soloholics Anonymous, that's where I teach a Silhouette Studio. I think it's still relevant. I don't know about y'all. I know there's a lot of people who are very, very intimidated, and they're like, they're just not there yet. They're still Cricut girlies, Cricut dudes, and it's like, it's okay. The average crafter will gravitate towards Cricut. They do more advertising. There's more videos. There's more TikToks. There's more Instagram videos and reels and people showing doing things with Cricuts. I get it, but that Cameo, it's a beast. It's great for print and cuts and things of that nature. The program is absolutely amazing. And then y'all know I just teach all types of classes. Like our teaching platform is 365 Creative Academy. I have been at this for, as far as teaching it, for well over a decade. I have been immersed in this industry and being very creative and creating handmade things and customized things, using graphic designing and using graphics to create these things. I've been doing that since high school. I turned 44 this year, and I got into this my 11th grade year of high school. I graduated in 99. So that lets you know how long I have just had a love and a passion for this, where I have not given up. It's really hard to give up. I don't say every, but a lot of, like, when I go to those for help, just trying to figure out like what's the next move, what's the next direction. Every business, I don't care what business you're in, you go through a period of uncertainty. There's a drop in sales, whether it's something that happens globally that affects that, like the pandemic, if it's just industry changing, if it's recession. Sometimes, certain businesses are affected by, what's going on with the government and this whole political war and things of that nature. But there's always going to be, technology also changes things, but there's always going to be a time when your business will go through, you go through ebbs and flows of business. There is peaks and valleys. And when you're in that valley area, when you're in those ebbs of business, you have to figure out, what to do next. Do I pivot? Do I figure out a way? Like, is it, the business model is great, but I have to figure out a different way to market it? Do I have to explore new marketing, like, things? And it's not always easy to figure those things out on your own. And you have to go to someone or, people sometimes that may be able to help you see the bottlenecks in your business and where these, like where you can make certain adjustments. And so I've been told, countless times, like, in what I do, is this part of it dead, right? And we kind of use the example of like Blockbuster Video. They were the pioneers of that. And then you had like the Hollywood Video. At least that's what we had down here. And then there were a few other like smaller places that kind of did the rentals where you would go in, you would get your movies on a Thursday, you turn, or Friday. Sometimes they had like a better deal if you got it like not on the weekend. Then it kind of causes craze when you work on the weekend. You're trying to go like during the week, and then you go there on the weekend. There's no movies because it was just weird. Like it was a time you had to be there during the Blockbuster, the Hollywood Video. There was another place here in South Florida, and I cannot think of the name. But then it's like you had to go in there and it was the whole please rewind. They used to charge you a fee if you forgot to rewind your VHS tape. So it was great when you got DVDs and Blu-rays because you didn't have to worry about rewinding those. But you used to get a penalty like if you literally did not rewind. It's like, dude, like seriously, but I get it. You don't want to go and put in hundreds of videos all the time and rewind them, having to remember to put them in their little case and drop them in the box. So that was a thing. And then when like the Blu-ray and the DVDs and like all that stuff, you end up with like Redbox, where you didn't have to go in, you didn't have to wait in this long line. Although sometimes there were lines at the Redbox as well, but it was a little more convenient because they were at like every Walmart. There is one that was in front of the Winn-Dixie and things of that nature. You can go and return it literally to any one of them. But even that model kind of took a hit because now people did not have to go out to get those things. You can stream them. You didn't have to wait. So, there was a time where bootleggers, those who used to sell the bootleg movies, they were on and popping, bootlegging CDs and DVDs and things like all those things. That was a thriving, people will call it a hustle, but that was a business. Okay. They had to be on it for the new music, the new movies every single week. Like it wasn't like these things came out once a month, once a quarter. Like there's a new album coming out like every week, every other week. There's a new movie every single week. So these people had to be on it. That wasn't a hustle to me. That was a full-on business. They may not have had a brick and mortar and things of that nature, but that was a full-on business. But even their business took a hit because now it's all streaming stuff. Like I don't need to get your CD to listen to this because I can in my car, even if I'm just listening to it on YouTube, because with your smartphones and stuff now, you can go let it play, Bluetooth it to your car. So even if you're going to play it from YouTube, I don't have to go out and buy. To be honest, I don't even understand how artists make music anymore because with all of like the whole streaming thing, I really don't fully understand like how they're making money in that part of it. Because even with like YouTube, you'll stream it, and I'm somebody that's that's monetized on YouTube and making the money from that, like the AdSense, like you have to get so many views to even make a few bucks or whatever. So that's kind of interesting for me when it comes to that. But like you bootlegging a CD is kind of, that business isn't a viable business now because you can literally go onto any streaming service. So every business goes through ups and downs, ebbs and flows, things that just won't work anymore. And there are some that will say that, what I do is just not working because of the onset of Canva and AI and so many people making templates or people pushing these businesses of, get into digital products. The same way you made this design, somebody's going to want that. They're not going to want to design, but then you as the person that wants to do the digital products, you got to know how to design, because if not, you got a bunch of these digital products out there that look like crap, or they look like the same thing. Or there are certain companies where it's like, okay, well, we're going to have our people because they're definitely not making them. They had somebody make something, and because they're the face of it, they're the voice, they have the gift of gab. They're like, yep, come get these files, and then you can resell our our exact files. So there is no like who was the originator of it. You have some people where some are selling it as a full bundle, you get a better price. There's others that are like, nope, for me, I want to break mine up so I can charge a little bit more. But there is not a lot of, not say originality, but there are a lot of digital files now that it's one person created it and they gave all these people the rights to, like, they basically, just gave them where, hey, you can sell this on your platform. Take our mock-up, take off our logo. You're going to put your logo on there and just advertise this as this is your file and you're selling this to someone. So because of that, it's a question of whether or not there are enough people who are genuinely interested in learning how to put these designs together themselves. Or are we in a popcorn generation where we want instant gratification? We want it to be done instantly. Everything needs to be done fast. When you go and you show somebody how to, oh my God, that takes too long. Like, I ain't trying to do that. Is there a faster way of doing this? Even the most advanced things, what's the beginner way? I think like people feel like the beginner way is like the easier way, is the faster way. But I find that the beginner way is actually the way that takes the most time. And once you become proficient and you're doing it over and over again, that's when it becomes like something that's a little bit quicker. It becomes a little bit more instant. But because everyone wants to type out a prompt and have it create this, no one wants to learn how to do all like take the time to learn Photoshop, to mix and match things, to draw things out. Like, is my industry dead? Is what, when I pay for consultants and things, that's the question they're asking me. Am I wasting my time like being in this industry? And it's so hard for me because sometimes I do feel like it's a dying industry. I have the ability and I'm smart enough and I know of so many different things to where I know that I can pivot into something totally different. And I'm still going to thrive because of my business sense and, just how I operate in business. But I have a love for this, which is why it's always hard for me to kind of disconnect from it. And I keep coming back to it because it is something that I love. And I know like I can't rely on just that small pocket because look, I got bills like y'all. So I can't rely just on that small pocket if I'm in business and I'm selling something that is technically a low ticket, what's considered to be a low ticket item. It's meant for the masses. It's meant for high volume. You got to kind of keep it low, but you got to keep your sell volume high. Like you need to really understand in your business, what is your business model about? When you look at like Hermes bags and things, they're priced really high, but they also don't have to sell hundreds and thousands of them. They have a limited number of bags that they create and they sell. They're not mass producing. Like when you think about like this shirt that was just a regular branded shirt, they're going to mass produce. There's going to be hundreds of thousands of units of these, but these bags, they're not. So they're selling them at a higher price to be able to still reach their business financial goals. Whereas a company that's going to sell like just a regular handbag in Target, they're all about volume. I'm going to provide you this thing that's going to still do the same thing. It's going to hold your phone, hold money, have, little mints or whatever. It's going to hold a bunch of receipts. For some people, it's going to have kids' toys in it. It's going to do the same thing. Like Cardi B talked about the fact that her daughter drew on one of hers. And it's like, it decreased the value to somebody else who may want a bag. But to me, I think that increases the value because like your kid, wrote on, like, I don't know, like, I just like stuff like that when it comes to like my kids, always a reminder. But their business models are different. And I try to get people to the business side of it by drawing them in with the creative part. And then when they join my creative business program, it's like, okay, there's so much more to this, but I use kind of designing and things like that to find the people who are interested in doing this so that if they decide they want to do business, hey, we also have this business program and it's going to open your eyes. It's not as easy as these TikTok videos make it out to be. What is it that you do? How do you switch up your branding and your marketing? So there are times where I go back to certain things because it's a personal thing. When I go and I'm doing like the Q&As that I said that I would never do, that's personal. That's not necessarily business. It's almost like it's a hobby for me. Some people prefer to go being very adventurous. They'll go hiking, they'll go skydiving, they'll go running. Some people, their hobby is reading. Some people, it's horseback, whatever it is. Me doing my Q&As, know that it's Shakeya the Professor that's answering, but the person that hit go live is really Shakeya Lavelle. Like the person who just loves to share my experience, help the next, generation of creatives and business owners or side hustlers in this kind of come up. So that's kind of hobby for me. And it's hard for me when people tell me, okay, no, don't do that, because they are completely associating it with the business. Yes, it can lead to me getting leads for business, but it's just that thing that I love to do, which is why I get kind of in my feelings, because I'm like, this is me truly giving of me. It has nothing to do with the business part. So when people are on and it's like, you have no questions, and I'm like, I know you have questions. I know you do. You're new to this. You're not 20 years in, 30 years in. You're trying to figure out, how are people doing all of these things in the groups. I know y'all have questions. I just can't figure out how to crack this wall that y'all have up for you guys to be open to being vulnerable. Like if you want to grow, you got to peel back certain layers in order to truly flourish. But it's like y'all are too scared to even speak up to get the help, and y'all hide behind, or a lot of people hide behind, oh, well, I just don't know. You know what issues you ran into. You know that you've seen something and you're like, oh, I wonder how that's done. That's a question. So that's why I kind of get a little frustrated when I kind of do the Q&As, because it's like, it's my hobby. It's not business. That's like, for someone who loves to run and then the doctor tells you can't run anymore because of whatever medical stuff. That's what it feels like for me when I'm doing the Q&As, and it's like crickets. So that's just kind of how I was hoping to start. I talked about a lot. And that's the thing, to like, let me know. I get that you guys are listening, but when I'm saying certain things, are you guys having your own private reactions to it? Like, oh, that's good. That makes sense. Because like, you guys don't type it out, but at least in this moment. So I know that I'm not just on here talking. Like, I feel like I'm kind of talking about what's like, could be like some good stuff. Like there's some nuggets in there. But then when you don't see anything, I'm like, okay, was I just talking to the air? Do you guys can you at least let me know that when I'm talking, are there moments where you're like, oh, that's good, but you just don't type it out? Like, let me know. My bad. Sorry, yes, I'm muted. Dang it. Yeah, my bad. When I went to go grab this, I hit the microphone. So I was saying hello to Trina, Crafty Diva. I was reading out your questions. And then Michelle said, yes, all the time. There's such a delay. And sometimes I don't know if you will ever get to it. So I understand that part. And I've been on live videos where people don't respond back. You know, they may have hundreds or thousands of people on, and the comments are just going, and you can't really get to it, which is why, like, when I want to start things like that, I spam. Like, if I really want like a question answered or like them to see something, I copy it and paste it, and I'm gonna spam it like until like they see it. If I see that their comment section is going like really, really crazy, because it will move kind of fast. But luckily, I mean, you guys are getting me to where, I mean, my comment section ain't going crazy. And I try to go back. That's what sometimes makes my live videos a little too long for some people's liking. They feel like, oh, if it was 2 hours, oh my gosh, she must have just been talking about whoever, whatever. But a lot of the times I'm going in and going back to the questions, going back through the comments. Like, if I say a point and I don't see something, like, I will go back through the comments to see if I miss someone, where others, if that comment is up there and they can't see it anymore, they're not going to go back. So never feel like you can't still post your question or your response, because I typically tend to go back through them. Okay. So yeah, there's that. Ooh. So someone says, I get on when I can and will ask questions. You always drop nuggets. Sometimes yes, and sometimes I don't type my response. All right. So at least I know, well, at least one person says that they are getting something from it. Even if at one point at the end, you guys can just say, thank you. This was great. I learned a lot. Cause I'm always like, I guess when I'm talking to my therapist, or if I'm talking to a business consultant and someone that's kind of helping me, and if we go through stuff, they're looking at me like, girl, why are you doing this all the time? Why are you doing this every day? These people are not even responding to you. They don't leave comments. Why are you here? You are wasting your time. Like, they literally make me feel like I'm the dumbest person in the world. And I'm like, but they tell me that they're learning a lot. Like, people come back, I've learned so much from you, but I guess from what they can see, right? So when I'm paying out money for someone to help me and they're asking to see what it is I do, and I'm showing them these videos, and it's like, so you were on for 2 hours and you had 3 comments, like, or it's more comments than that, but and I really wouldn't be on for 3 hours if it was just 3 comments, because when it gets to that point, I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, y'all have no questions, all right, cool, peace. But just to be on for any amount of time, or if I'm showing this to them and I've been on like multiple times per week or within the month, and it's only a few comments, even in the playbacks, people are not like responding. The people I'm paying money to was looking at me like, and you doing this because of what now? So it's like, yeah. So I have a few people on. Is there anyone that needs help? Today's freestyle. The other thing, like, I come on, I know that everyone can't afford classes, so I try and come on to be able to help. I don't, unless it's like, when I'm trying to get new viewers, I will end up doing like an actual like dedicated lesson. This whole week, I have been doing comparing Canva to Silhouette to Photoshop, because these are 3 different, programs. For me, I feel like it's easier for me to address all 3 of them in one sitting. Like, I know with someone yesterday, and she kind of like, the way the comment, now I'm not saying this is how you meant it if you're watching today, but the way the comment came off to me was, well, if you show Photoshop and Canva first, like, I'm out, because I don't use those. I only use Silhouette. But when I was doing things that was just Silhouette related on Soloholics Anonymous, like, people weren't watching. Then it's like, okay, some of the Silhouette people now want to do Canva, but they don't know that I teach Canva. A lot of people didn't know that I taught Photoshop, because they're only on that one platform, and then trying to cross cross market and let people know, okay, I know you came here for silhouette, but I also, if you're interested in Canva, hey, I can teach that as well. If you're interested in Photoshop, I can teach that. Even with the customized things, t-shirts, tumblers, party favor. I mean, anything sublimation related, I'm able to help you. When it comes to DTF, you have questions about that. Although I sell sublimation paper, I'm well versed in so many areas. So there's people that didn't realize that they can come to me with their DTF questions, with their, okay, I want to explore screen print transfers. They didn't realize that. So I've been trying to cross promote like with these platforms now. And at some point I would like to have them go back to their specific subject matters, but it was important for me to kind of go live on all my platforms for people to see the versatility in my teaching, and that I don't teach kind of like just one thing, because I've been in this for so long. I think the learning, I like the learning from you. A lot of these groups are designing stuff I don't want to do. I like learning the how and the why. Have you thought about posting and reeling more stuff that you make? So I don't do well with short form content. Like, I'm a long form kind of girl. I post the stuff that I make. A lot of it is kind of like repeated. If I'm being honest, I don't always understand like needing to post every single thing that you do, right? It's some people, they are obsessive over that. Every single thing that they make, they feel like they have to take a picture of it. They have to make a reel of it. They have to make some sort of content from it. And that becomes a job that you're not being paid for. Like, if you were, for me, and how I would pretty much pose, like frame this for my creative business students. If you are going to make content creation a major part of your business, where you feel like your revenue is coming from the things that you make, right? And you have to record every time you do it, that time that you're taking to record it, to edit it, to put it all together, who's paying for that time? Because when you're showcasing stuff as a business and not as something that's funny or sad or emotional, that's like regular content, people aren't fully checking for that. It's harder to become monetized if you're not on here doing some sort of dance, or you're doing like the people that you see all of these views and they're just sharing like their tech talks, their think pieces on stuff, and they become content creators in that manner. And it's easier for them to do that because they're not physically doing something as well. Like, their moneymaker is content creation. But if your moneymaker is the things that you make, the more time that you spend trying to set everything up, record everything, edit it all, who's paying for that time? You're in business. And if you're utilizing that, that's time. So most of you guys are not willing to adjust your pricing, or you don't consider that content creation to be a part of business. So if I have to spend time, the amount of time, like really looking at how much time you're spending content creating and posting all these things, does your prices cover that time, right? Because there are some things that are like not money-making tasks, but the money has, like, that time for you as an employee of your business has to be paid for in some way, shape, or form. If you're selling $25 shirts, $10 shirts, but you're also wanting to create content all the time for this stuff, then guess what? You're not being paid for that time. Compared to like with my creative businesses, I'm telling them, repeat the same thing. No one has to see everything that you make to know that you're great at what you make. Literally take the time to record some things that you do and just keep posting that. And when they're contacting you is when you can discuss with them a potential client that's going to give you money, the specifics of what they need. But you don't have to show everything that you do and take hours, minutes, whatever it is, out of your day, out of your week to create all this content. I've been at this a long time. I can go. That's why sometimes I will go and like I'll keep stuff. My husband hates that I keep everything. So if I'm on live, you think I'm gonna go and make another one of these just for no. I did this a few years ago. And that's the other thing. I'm not actively in it. I don't have an active business where I'm making these for people. My active business is teaching. So me coming on and me showing different things is me kind of doing the reels or the content of what I do. What do? I teach you how to do these things. I'm not always doing them. And I have a garage full of things, especially in the sublimation, like with sublimation things that I made, not because I needed them, not because I had sales for them, but it was just to show my sublimation ink and paper. I don't want to have to do that all the time just for you to know that my sublimation paper is thebomb.com. Like that's not necessary for me. So it's just, and make content creation can be tricky because I think a lot of people confuse making content for your business with being a content creator and wanting to make money off of that content. It's always a wealth of knowledge coming from you. And I so love the way you teach. That's why I have been following you for 6 or more years. I think we, wait, I think, yeah, I think we, think even though I don't design much, I still love it. I still have all those classes I purchased. The one day they're going to, one day they're going to be very useful. So you're not, what? I just had a conversation with a someone that I talked to about these things, and I was like, I'm going through the playbacks of stuff and looking like sometimes the watch on it matches the people that have signed up for it, but I know that it should be more like, are people going back? You have these classes. Do you think to go back to watch it to get the answers? Or has Facebook groups and TikToks and people going live, have people gotten spoiled about that to where, I don't want to go find this information in the video. I didn't go take notes, or I do have notes, but I don't want to go through my notes. I just want to get on. I want to ask someone, like they're showing this. Hey, what paper did you use? Now, you took a class that talked to you about what paper to use for a fan, a chip bag. This paper works, that paper works, that doesn't. You went through this. Well, at least if you went through mine, I gave you good, bad, the ugly. But then you see somebody doing chip bags. Oh, what paper are you using? Like, you rather ask that than go back through the class that you paid for. So I am finding that Facebook groups and people doing live TikToks actually, like she said, showing the things that you do have made people like where they're paying for these classes, but they want instant answers. So they rather just go on people's live videos and just watch people do all of these things and never try it themselves. I just said to someone in a Facebook group, so Tay posted about like silhouette, and it created this thread, and somebody was like, oh, I have mine in the box, but I'm too afraid to, like, she's like, I haven't opened it because I don't want to take the time to learn, or I'm afraid of the program or something, she said. So I asked the question, have you even downloaded the program and opened it up to see? I think she said, and because Cricut is easier, I think is what it was. And I'm like, have you actually opened up the program to see what it's like in there? Try the same things that you're doing in Cricut, try it in Silhouette, or are you just going off of what other people said? And she was like, oh, what I've heard, what I've seen other people say. But if it's another crafter who is brand new to this, and they're the ones that are posting saying, hey, somebody help me because I can't figure this out, it doesn't mean that it's hard just because they can't figure it out. Have you opened up the program? And she's like, no. So we're just going off of somebody, who's like, back in the day, you couldn't do things like this, right? You had to go find somebody that knows it and like them help you. Now, if you need help, I've seen the videos. Hey, y'all, if somebody can help me, this is what I'm doing. I can't figure this out or whatever. And so those videos, crazy, oddly enough, the videos of people asking for help and saying that they don't know what the hell they're doing gets more views than the person showing how to do the thing, which is so crazy to me. So it makes it seem like it's so hard because there's more videos going viral of people asking for help, which I get it, right? So someone goes, they're asking for help. Hey, we're going to show up to help. But the video that's providing the help doesn't get shared out as much. There aren't as many responses to it. I guess because it's so perfect and there's not all of these critiques. The crazy thing is a lot of these comments end up being people who are critiquing, and it's like, this person said they needed help and you're like, oh, you did that wrong, you should have did. Okay, there's a way you can say that, because I'm saying, hey, I'm stuck, like I need help, direct me somewhere, give somebody a link to the video that hey, I'm going to inbox you the link. A girl did this video, like she showed exactly what to do, I'm going to send that to you, whatever. Or go check out this person because they have this video. You don't see a lot of that. You see a lot of people being very judgy, which is why those videos become more viral. You got people sharing it because it's like, ooh, child, she told me something, she got a business, look at this mess that she made. And it's not going viral because it's something that's good. It's people being petty a lot of the times why things go viral. And so then people start to feel like, well, I don't want that to be me. I don't want someone to go and like post my stuff and they're like, it's the social media can be very helpful, but social media can also be very toxic. I love that giant cutout. I need to find the video. So you won't find that video like that. It's just me showing, like, that's the thing. People assume that because I teach this, everything that I do becomes a video, and it doesn't. Now, I've had videos where I've done it, and or people like, oh, I got to go find that video, when I'm saying, why go find a video? You can go search for it, because I'm not in this to necessarily make money from content creation. I have classes. I have an academy. So if you want to learn how to do this, you want to learn how to get these cuts, then our phone board class is where you want to invest in that to go do that. Now, if you want to just go, actually, this one you might be able to find. This is actually about 3 years old. This is not something that I did recently. This cutout is probably about 2 or 3 years old, because when I did this, I was still in that room behind me. That's now Zion Imani's room, because I did this. I did all of the safari stuff. So it may have been 3 years ago, because I operated from my mom's house for like a year and a half before she was about to foster kids. So that was like a year and a half. I've been, back here for a year. So this particular cutout just might be 3 years old. And to some people, they'll feel like, man, I remember I feel like I just saw you do this. I show it all the time. Like, it's quality made where it's, held up all this time. But this is probably like 3 years old. So it's going to be hard for you to really go back and find this particular thing. Like, I didn't go through all of them. I just picked 1 or 2 of them, and I just showed parts of like how to cut it out, because me doing this on live, like, that was another thing. I'll do these live videos, and when I was trying to show the things, this ain't something that happens in 2.5 seconds. I find that a lot of people want the videos, or they want the people that's using the cheap boards. They're using the Dollar Tree boards. That's for DIY people. Someone that does this DIY, it would not be looking like this 3 years later. It's going to be very much so crushed, because that foam is so soft and it can easily dent and get messed up. It's not going to look like this 3 years later, 4 years later. I have stuff that's literally 10 years old, 12 years old, that still looks great because I use a quality foam board. And when you're using quality foam board, you can't just go and just cut through in one cut. It's like, it's several cuts. You have to move around it. So and when I'm trying to teach it, it might take a little bit time to cut this out. So someone literally sitting there watching me like, how much can you really teach cutting it out? At that point, you're just watching it to see how long it takes me to do it, because what else am I supposed to say? The same way I cut here is how I cut here. Like, ideally, one should be able to, like, if I needed to do this, I'm going to show you how to cut this one part. Okay, now you go and you figure out the rest. Like, it's the same stuff. So that ends up being the part of like teaching it or showing what you do, because I end up being on live, like showing the whole process, and people are just watching. I can see if I at least stayed on all this time, I was getting super chats. I was getting some stars. Like people are paying for me to be on here and show them the whole thing when I do it live. Like this is me showing you my expertise. Like I'm not a newbie at this. Those who are new at this, they don't care about it. Like they just want to be viral. Like they want people just to see what they like. I'm learning this, whatever. But I'm not a newbie at this. So if I'm going to take the time to show you my expert level techniques, I'm like, the least y'all can do, like, trust me, y'all think 50 cents, $1 from, if it was 100 people watching and all of them sent $100, like if I sent $1, like to make $100 and just that appreciation of getting that $1 from all the people who are watching, like it makes that worth your while to go and do this. But when people want you to come on and they think, oh, well, you're going to make money from YouTube, you're monetized on YouTube, and they think that make like that pays for your time, it really doesn't. It takes a while to get paid for that. So that might be, I guess, in talking through that, some of the reasons why I don't show like everything that I do, because I know how to do this. This, like your grandmother say, like, I got my education, you need to get yours. How is it benefiting me to show everything that I do when there's no support? It's not even sharing it out. Like, if I show it, can you at least share it to where somebody else sees it? But then I've had people tell me, well, I don't share it out because, the people on my timeline, they're not into this. So they're not going to understand it. Who cares? You don't know who's going to see it. Just share it. You share all this other stuff. Do the people in your timeline know the girl that boyfriend cheated on her? No, but you shared that out and laughed and kikied about it. Then some people will say, well, I don't want, they're always asking me like questions about where I get this from, where I get that. I don't want them to know where I learned from. Damn, is that fair for me? So it's sharing all the things that you make in the capacity that I share online. It's like a double-edged sword, if that makes sense. Sometimes I go back to classes when I'm working on a specific project, but sometimes I go through the YouTube recordings instead of the Academy recordings. Just did it recently with creating a stole template. Yeah, understand. And that was the thing too, like when certain people said limit, because now someone can do that. You pay for a class. I'm not going to go to the class. So I'm not really saying that, oh, this class, I'm not saying that you, Miss Karen, but there are some people, oh, this class wasn't beneficial to me. Like, oh, I learned from watching the YouTube video because you chose not to go back to the class. So that's where some of the consultants that I've gone to and like just trying to figure out what am I doing wrong. I don't feel like I'm doing wrong, but obviously there's a disconnect. Okay, well, limit what you do. But I get clientele by showing up online, kind of, showcasing what I do. When I'm doing the ones where it's like, okay, let me just help you via talk. No one's on. People like, oh, well, we learn from projects. Well, we want to see you do the things. Maybe we'll have questions. I'll do the projects. Do y'all have questions? Absolutely not. Y'all just sit there in awe and no one's asking anything. But now I have this thing that's online and it's like, okay, well, what's the purpose of me paying you for a class if you showed me how to do the thing on social media? Why am I paying you? So it's, again, that's that double-edged sword in what I do. But again, I don't do these that often. I'm able to show you, but why does it take for me to show that to make the connection? My goal in what I do is not to introduce you to all these things and make people feel like, oh, that's the thing. I need to learn how to do that. Those who are interested in a specific thing, how can I help you in what you are already interested in learning to do, you're trying to figure out? I'm not trying to put something else on you where you feel like, oh, I need to get this machine. I need to learn this. I need to learn that. That is technically not my goal in what I do here. I want to help you where you're at, the present goals that you have, and you're not. So I don't want someone to look at that and be like, oh, well, what I'm doing is wrong. I obviously need to be doing what she's doing. I need to be able to make bigger cutouts. Maybe you're not there. Maybe everything that you're doing needs to be something that you're going to do as a regular cutout with a regular, that you can fit on 11 by 17 on a Cameo. You're going to let that do the cutting because you're not that great with, a blade and cutting foam board. So let's stick to small centerpieces. And even if you're doing a party, you spend your time doing the smaller centerpieces that you can cut with your Cameo, with your Cricut, with your Caesar machine, with your StarCraft, with your, whatever it is, whatever cutter you have, your brother Scan and Cut. You're going to cut the smaller ones and you might outsource the bigger ones to someone. But when I'm showing that, it's like I did my live class in Atlanta, and it's like, I'm not even using any of this stuff, but I saw you had this, so I got it. I saw you had this, so I got it. That makes no sense to me. Why are you buying stuff and you don't even know how you're going to use it just because I have it? I've also been at this 26 years. Like the number of microphones that I've been through and doing live videos. But if you're somebody that's new, you don't have to go and spend the money that I spent on a microphone. Go get a regular one. Will your audio sound great? No. But I am here with this microphone that costs all this money from the videos that I did when I had a cheap microphone and my audio sounded like crap. The key to it was just being consistent. But I think now people are wanting to see someone do this stuff. Oh, you got to keep seeing it. Oh, I want what she has. I want this. And you're not willing to start from where I started. You're looking at me 26 years in. You're not looking at my day one. But when people are like, oh, well, they want to see more, show this, show that. Why do you want to see my year 26 when you really need to be focusing on watching the old videos and the stuff that I did when I first started? But that's what I'm talking about. I'm looking at the views from that class because most of them only have that playback and the views don't match. It felt like so much gatekeeping when I first started with the silhouette, and I never felt like that with you. Quick question: what's the brand of hot glue gun? Like, what brand of hot glue gun do you use? Okay, so let me ask you this. I'm going to tell you which one, right? Would you have? Okay, what would be the most money you would be willing to spend on a glue gun? I'm going to ask that question. What do you feel like is too much to spend for a glue gun? Okay. Well, maybe there's a delay. And that's the thing too that sucks about this, because if I say stuff and there's a delay on the playback, it's this extended period of time that seems like nothing is happening or nothing's being said. But I'm like waiting for what I said to catch up to the person and for them to then respond. So it's like this moment of silence on the playback. Okay, I would spend up to $80. Perfect. All right. Now my next question is, are you someone that fears heat or burning yourself? Because the glue gun that I use is not the little cheapy ones that you'll find in stores. It's like a 60 watt or 80 watt. It's a 300 watt heat glue gun. And the glue gun isn't as important as the glue sticks. This is a... Oh, the little sticker is gone. Oh, no, it's not. Yeah, this is a 300 watt glue gun. the one that I use. There are certain glue sticks that I use. So this particular one is called Arrow. Actually, this one isn't as expensive as some of the other ones, but some people were so used to buying $5 glue guns. They were used to buying glue guns from the Dollar Tree. So to even buy this one, which I want to say might be like $20, but I had one that was $75. And it's a more industrial one. It stays more so in the garage, but it's advertised to where, like, when you get the right glue stick, like, you can adhere, see, like, cinder blocks to each other. So that one is a really high, and I paid $75 for that. We have a Ryobi one. We spent some money on that one. I want to say this particular, I got this one from Home Depot. But they also sell it on Amazon. No. Okay, so this particular one is $50 on this site. I'm trying to see I got mine from, yeah. So this was $50. Most people would think that this, hell no, I'm never spending $50 on a glue gun, when they'll get, like, Arrow has other versions of it. So they have one that's like $6. They have one that's like $22, whatever. There's a $14 one, but they're not like this. So this particular one costs over $50. So when people say that, I'm like, this is me dealing with all these other ones, and I know that they're not going to give me the quality that I want. So this isn't where I started at. I've been through the ad tech ones and the ones where you lay it down and the glue starts coming through the side. But based off the quality that I want, and over time, and just seeing what does not work. But so when I'm teaching classes, you're going to see this one. But I make sure in my class, I know, I'm like, you can start with whichever one you want. Are you going to get the exact results that I have? No. Some people ask me what glue sticks I have. Using my glue sticks in a glue gun that is 80 watts, 60 watts, or it's a cheap one, you're still not going to get the same results, because that glue gun is not going to heat up enough to make the benefits of this particular glue stick. I can tell you this, but you're going to be like, oh my God, she don't know what she's talking about. Mine's, because I've had this. Like, I've literally had people have these reactions because they're asking me what it is that I use. But then people don't want to hear me when I'm saying, this is why I use it. I use this with this for this reason. You can use whatever you want. Is it still going to adhere these things together? Yes. But if you're looking for the results that you saw that I did, you like the results that I had, you're going to get a final result, but you might have lumps and things in your print. It's going to dry too fast. It comes down to the surface that you are gluing things together on. If it is a surface that's going to cause that glue to dry faster, like if you're doing it on top of, like, let's say a metal surface, or like certain surfaces will cause it to harden faster. There's science to it. I lead with science. And the reason why I'm like, the things that I make, I'm great at what I make, the quality of it, is because I appreciate the science of it all, and understanding that I have to do certain things and to others, it's like, oh, that's too many steps. It don't take all that. I'm just going to take this, and you watch them with the little glue gun, and they pumping, trying to get that glue around this whole big thing. And I'm just like, it's a science to it. But when you just tell someone, like, without the breakdown and them to understand, like, they're not understanding until they kind of go through it. So it's $50. It's called Arrow. If you say $80, that's cool. Most people, how many people here, even without like all the stuff, like before I kind of said this, you were willing to spend upwards of $50 to $75 for a hot glue gun? Or when you're looking for supplies, you're closer to the maybe $5 to $15 range, maybe even 20. How many of you would be willing, with whatever you are in your journey, especially if you're just starting out? Actually, let me ask that. If you are just starting out, would your first thought be to go get a $50 glue gun? So I personally don't care for the Ryobi. It's great for certain projects. If I'm doing large projects, I'm not using my Ryobi because of like with the what's that thing called? The battery thing on it, and just kind of like just the functionality is heavier with the battery. Some people in their mind, oh, it's the greatest thing ever because they're not tethered a to a cord. I don't mind being tethered because I have uh uh power strips that are on my work surface. So this particular one, it's so I think what happens is they're used to these cheaper glue guns having a cord that's this big. So they feel limited in where they can move their glue gun to because they have a glue gun with a cord this big. I have this over here by me. It is plugged in, down, and over there. Yet I can hold this up in front of me and it's still plugged in. This has a much longer cord. So when it's on my desk and I have a power strip right at the edge of my work surface, I can move this around any part of my work surface. So it's little things like that that makes a difference. You are comparing, like your mindset says, well, I want something that's wireless, but you also have to keep charging that up. If you leave it off and you forget about it, now you got to wait for it, where mine just stays plugged in and it's always going to be hot. Like when I'm needing it, I don't have to worry about it charging. I don't have to worry about screaming across the room, hey, can somebody bring me a new battery? I have to worry about that. But I'm also not using a glue gun where the cord is this big. What is the true issue? This is why I act the same way I tell you guys to ask me questions. Sometimes when you ask me questions, I have a unique ability to truly give you the answer that you really, really need. And I'm going to do that by asking more follow-up questions so that I fully understand your needs. I'm known for someone, I'm going to cater the help that I give you based off of what your issue actually is. And the issue may not have been, oh, the cord, you're using a glue gun with a cord that's too short. So getting a glue gun that's wireless, or it's a battery pack, isn't your answer. It's not the solution, because now you're going to get a glue gun that doesn't really work how you want. It's heavier. It's all of this. Your solution is you just need a glue gun with a longer cord. Make sense? I don't like mine. Super disappointed. Doesn't put out much glue at a time. Love the cordless feature, but I don't love it. See, that's the thing. You don't need a cordless feature. You just need a longer cord. Because I wouldn't understand that it doesn't work. Power strips are key. Root cause analysis. Let's see. She says, nope, not at first, but following you, I now know. Not when I first started, but from learning from you, the quality benefits, I would now. Yeah. As I said, like, it's so hard for me to maybe teach like a beginner class to say, okay, you can start with this. It irks my soul. Like, again, I've been at this 26 years. I feel like it's a disservice to me to teach and say, okay, go out and just get a Dollar Tree glue gun. Go get the little mini sticks to be able to do X, Y, and Z. Now, I'm not saying that they don't serve their purpose, because the low temp guns, the short cord, it would drive me crazy. Like, I was going to say, like, if you're doing balloons, but that's only beneficial if you're doing the balloons in like a really small space. because you want to use like that kind of cool temp and one that doesn't get very hot so it doesn't burn your balloons if you have to stick them together. So like in a situation like that, I can see where that may potentially be beneficial in using one with the shorter, like a low temp, and those normally have shorter cords, but that means you also have to work in a very, very confined space. And that it makes the process longer. When I was doing that, like I have to like have somebody bring me the balloons. I have to do it here. I have to make sure it's out of the way, or I have to go get them, bring them to me because I'm stuck in this little corner with this low temp gun. Until I found one that had a long cord, but it also offered low temp. And when I'm teaching those and they're telling me, well, I want to do this as a business. If I was just teaching crafters who are just trying to DIY, it's for them. So they are not as concerned with the quality of it because it's like, I'm not paying, or someone's not paying me to do this. I'm doing this myself. I would be like, okay, don't go spending $50 on it. It's going to look like this, but it's just for you. You're going to throw these things away. You're not selling it to someone. When you are selling something to someone, it needs to be of quality. What you DIY can have some flaws. It can have like little bumps and stuff in it. People are going to think like, oh, you're the greatest because you did this yourself. They're not looking at the quality. But I guarantee that same thing that you made, if they would have been like, oh, yeah, I paid this girl $50 for this, they were like, you pay her what? And you see how this looks? It's da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, heck no. You need to get your money back. That was a ripoff. She tried you. If you tell someone something like that, you paid for it, it's like, oh, it's horrible. But if you go, oh, I did this myself. Oh, girl, you did good. Oh, it's a different dynamic. So if I was teaching those who were just crafters, I would say, this is what I use because I've been in this 26 years. I've been through a bunch of glue guns. If you go back and watch old videos, you've seen the evolution of my glue guns. But I would be like, okay, you just need to be able to glue this. You can use this, but I'm also that person where you can use this, but I'm going to let you know, this is going to be the limitation. This is where your frustration is going to come through. But my main philosophy is you cannot do both. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot save time and money at the same time. You cannot do both. You are either going to pay money to cut your time down, or you're going to be like, I want to save money, so I'm willing to take more time to do this. Because you can get the cheaper glue gun and it has like the pull on it. You have to keep pulling that trigger versus it being a long trigger, and you can do a longer run and you're going to be able to get that done a little bit faster, where you have this glue gun that you have to keep pumping and you're only getting like this much space done. You only have these small glue sticks, so you have to keep changing out. So it's going to take more time for you to complete this, and you got to work. You have to also take your time because you want to put it down and then adhere it, because if not, it's going to harden. And so you're going to have like these bumps, or it's not going to close all the way. So you can do it this way. And trust me, no one's going to think anything of it. They're going to think like, oh my God, you're the greatest. They're going to boost your head up. You should sell this until you sell it and you say $50, but it has glue bumps in it. So it's different teaching those who just want to do this, but a lot of you guys come and it's like, oh, I want to be able to sell this. I'm not going to teach anyone who's in this to actually make a profit off of it. You're never going to hear me recommend something that's cheap. If I'm doing foam boards, hey, you can somewhat practice on it if you're going to DIY it. But even practicing on Dollar Tree foam board doesn't prepare you for cutting on quality foam board. At some point, you are going to have to practice on quality foam board. And when you practice on the quality foam board, the results are going to be totally different than when you were using that cheap foam board, because it takes more effort to get through it. So if you know that you want to, your ultimate goal is to work with high quality products, you are going to have to practice. It's not a waste of money, people. It's not though. Well, let me get the cheap stuff to practice on, because you can practice on that. But when you get to the quality things, you're going to still be frustrated because it takes a different level of like completion for those, like to work with those quality products. You may have to press it longer. You may have to, it's going to take you longer to cut it. You're going to have to, it's going to be different. So at some point, you are going to have to put it into your budget to practice on the quality items, and they're not going to be great, but it's necessary. I've been using the cheapy glue guns and sticks and want better results. So you can start there. You can try some of the other ones. So like I actually have three. I have three different versions of the arrow. One, I got like one of them because it came in like a little pack and it gave you like the really, really small one. I hate that. Oh my God. I hate that one with a passion. And then there is another one, which is the one that's like it's like $23. That was like okay, but like the little stand gets on my nerves. Like with that one, when you want to use it, you have to flip the stand back to use it, and then remembering to flip it back to put it down. Whereas with that one, I don't have to worry about that. It's built in. The stand doesn't it doesn't cover up like the nozzle. Like it's not it doesn't interfere with me gluing, and then I'm able to just put it down. So although I have all three versions of the arrow, those are the ones I use most. I have three of those, three of the 300 watt one. But some people, when they got that one, they were like, oh, I got the one that the professor said, but I can't use that because I'm clumsy and I'll burn myself and like it'll drop because it's hot. You have to be very, very careful if you're going to use that one, because even though the top part is insulated, because I have one where this part has come off. I've used it so much that this little rubber piece is not on it anymore, and it's just the metal part. And I've burned myself. I mean, skin pulled back because of it. So this one is covered more, but this little piece that's out, oh baby, it will burn the ish out of you. I'm just saying. And they also have other tips, because this one, I'm not going to be able to twist it off, but there's some where you can change the nozzle on it for different types of precision. And that nozzle sticks out more and it will burn you. It will burn you. All right, so have you guys given this video a like? Have you tagged a friend? Have you made sure that you're subscribed? Are you on my friends list? Are you following? Have you changed us to your favorites over on Facebook? If you have not done that, if you are subscribed, but you are not getting all like you haven't rang the bell, you have to click on the bell and click that first option. If you have not done that, I want you guys to go and do that right now. If you have not subscribed and rang the bell, if you have not given this video a thumbs up, I want you to give it a thumbs up. If you're watching and you have not spoken, said anything, can you at least drop a hi? Because that helps the algorithm. Like that just helps the distribution of it. So if you enjoy my content, you enjoy my teaching and what I bring, you like the nuggets and you want them to continue, I need your help just as much as you need mine. And my help that I need from you is to at least come on and comment. Don't hang out in the shadows, at least comment. Because this is not like just watching someone dance and just kind of move on and feel like, oh, okay, great job. You don't have to necessarily do that, but because those videos they move themselves. But in this teaching space and doing things like this, it does require a little bit more help from the audience and just saying hello. So if you can just do that, make sure that you give the video a like. If you're watching over on Facebook, make sure that you follow. So like it's a friends thing, but it's also one where you can just follow the page, and you can then click on it, click on the three dots or click on the drop down and change it to your favorites versus default. Okay. So if I can get you guys to do that. Hey, honey bun, how are you? All right. My goal is to help people, right? So I thank those who have, I guess, somewhat either asked questions or you've been involved in the discussion, the conversation that allowed me to talk for an hour and 15 minutes. But is there anyone that needs help from me specifically? Like you have an actual need right now from me versus just kind of learning through osmosis and the general things that I have said. Is there anyone that has a specific question, specific need that you have right now? Because even with you, Sheena, so you kind of threw out like some general things, but do you feel like for you, is that something like, are you saying that in general, or for you, you need to see things over and over and over again, like from me, like you would like to see something else? Do you feel like what I have shown isn't enough for you to learn from or to make you want to enroll in a class? And I'm gonna tell y'all this, since there's not that many people watching anyway. If you see my content and you see me put content out like I'm like duh, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and I'm posing it as help me figure this out, just know it's just for eyeballs, because no matter how much I come on and I show things, it's not getting the same response. So I feel like people ask those who are like, oh, look, I did this, I figured it out. They're quick to ask them for a class. Hey, are you teaching this? You got a class on this? So when I start making content, people ask me for short form content. Know that my short form content will not be educational. I'm gonna be out here acting like duh, like the ones who are doing it, and they're the ones being asked, hey, do you have a class? I don't get asked, even when I'm showing my stuff. I don't get asked if I have a class on it. It's just like, oh my God, that's so great. That's so cool. So I'm gonna start acting like the folk who get in those responses. So although my company is called Honestly Speaking, I'm sorry. I'm an honest person, but I'm realizing you got to play some games in this industry. Yes, I am going to definitely be the airhead professor. I am. I most certainly am. I am going to be given Legally Blonde Craft Edition. So for you, with you taking a class of mine, did you only enroll because I showed something like new? Or was it seeing my content on a continual basis and it's like, hey, this chick knows what she's talking about, let me invest in a class? Or did you only invest in a class because I showed something and it's like I showed it and I said, okay, there's a class for this, and you signed up for it? Or did you just do it based off of watching me? I could never do print and cut with my 2, but my 3 cuts like a dream. Is there a way to get the 2 checked out? Not with silhouette or anything like that. Most times it's it might be the machine itself. All machines are not perfect. If you notice that, like when you were under warranty, that would have been the time to basically let Silhouette know that there was an issue, and then like they're going to actually like to record it and things like that. But the tool's been out for a while. It would really it will take, as far as like checking it out, I've done live sessions. So our one-on-one sessions it's $53.65 for an hour. That would be like your first, and it's not always going to be where I never guarantee that I'm going to be able to help you fix the issue. Sometimes it's just understanding what that issue, you may not like the outcome. Like, okay, yeah, your machine is like bad or whatever. But sometimes it is user error, and maybe like in how you're setting it up, things of that nature. The cut settings, because the 3 is different if you're using it with auto blade and it's tap, tap, tapping, compared to the 2 where it's a manual blade. The settings are different for those. So it can be a number of things. My recommendation would be to book a one-on-one session where you're going, like your whole focus is to figure out what's going on with the 2. So I'll take you through, okay, we're going to take this file, you're going to print it out, you're going to do the print and cut. Me looking at how you're setting it up, how you're loading it, what is it doing when it's reading, things of that nature. But that's the only way for someone to maybe help you figure out if it's the machine itself, if it's something that you're doing. You have to pay for that one-on-one session, and you're focused on, let's see what's going on with this machine. That would be my only suggestion to you. That's funny. I was just thinking that posting what you recently made. Wait, that's too funny. I was just thinking that posting what you recently made would be a good idea. I'm not understanding that one. I started following you years ago. I had the software, and the Stoles a few years ago pushed me to sign up for the business essentials class. Okay. So that's the only class that you've taken, is the business essential one? I saw you on a continuous basis and wanted to know more. Okay. Actually, you say that my two was my favorite. Like when people talk crap about the 2, I'm like, wait, what's going on with your 2? Like I literally had the 2 in my hand because this is my baby. I want 3 more of these. Like if you don't want your 2, give it to me. Maybe I don't need to help you, girl. It's just, no, it's messed up. Send it to me. I love the 2. I love the 2. This is my favorite machine. I love my originals because they're analog, and I'm like, if anything ever happens, I can always go to those because you don't need the screen for that one, like unless like you get liquid inside the buttons. But I love my 1s, but my 2, because this is the one where you had the repeat function on, being able to put a USB and stuff like that. Like, and I think the look of this was a little bit cooler than the 1. So I love my 2. This is my all-time favorite machine. I hate the 3. I despise my 3. It's like in a corner somewhere. The 4 isn't bad, but for me with the 4, because it's Bluetooth, it's always looking like it takes forever for it to connect. It is annoying. Like I'm sitting there, I want to cut. And it's like, I like it because I don't have to have it close to my desk, because the setup that I have now isn't conducive to me having all of my machines right next to my computer. The setup that I had previously in that room, because I had an L-shaped desk and even built me shelves, I had them all on shelves on this side, shelves on that side, and then my computer sat in the middle. I can't do that setup here. So it's best for me to have like these machines that use Bluetooth. Like that should be the true benefit of it, but it's also the worst thing ever, because it will sit there and you got to wait for it to find it. It's going to check for firmware. And it's like, it's just sitting there and you have to wait for it to be ready. Then it's like, it'll go and it'll say engage. And it's like, oh my God, seriously? You got to turn it off, turn it back on. Then it still goes through this process if you're waiting. And then it says ready and like load media. And it's like, seriously, dude? Seriously? So the 4 is a pain in my butt. I hate that about it. The first time watching your videos on Elite Prints, I was talking to the screen and we made the same comment at the same exact time. I knew I then found my tribe. A combination of watching and wanting to learn, tried one of your classes that you offered to try with a discount code, and I've been having been in classes, and I've been in classes. I've been in classes ever since. Jesus, Shakeya. Because I started out with the silhouette, I think I'm predisposed to learning how to design. I have to look on my dashboard. I know for sure the foam board class also. I hate the Bluetooth function as well. I ended up having to use the cords every time. I wish I could, but I don't have the space. I really, 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 really wish that I could. Sometimes I do. I've invested in the long cords, but this room is a lot tighter than that room. And Donnie Monty, sometimes I wish I could get him to switch to this room, but he would never do that because that is he is protective of his room. It was so crazy. Let me tell y'all, I never knew that this kid wanted his own room and didn't want to sleep with his brother, because it's he goes and that he would even thought that he would not sleep by himself. And we eventually got to where he goes to his room. He sees that he doesn't care, because he had his room, but his room was more like a playroom. But even would still make him. But I think even was more so concerned because Zani Mani has epilepsy, so it's he wanted him to be in the room in case he has a seizure. But MJ's a hard sleeper. It's been times where we're in here panicking because Zani Mani is having a seizure, and MJ doesn't even wake up. He's he can't even hear. So he'll wake up in the morning. He's like, Zani Mani had a seizure, because he'll see Zani Mani in our room, and it's yeah, he had a seizure. Dang, why? We didn't have to wake you up every time, but so we end up getting him an embrace watch where it calls us if he has a seizure, but we also sleep with him. We lay with him for the first 30 minutes. If he doesn't have a seizure in the first 30 minutes, we're pretty good throughout the night. But anyway, I saw that to say, the day that I moved my stuff out of the room, officially, everything was gone, out of the blue, Zani Mani, he had this dinosaur tent that was in the living room. It's this is an empty room. This kid went and started taking all of his toys and putting it in the room. Oh, this is my room. All of his stuff is just going in there. And then my mom brought him a bed, and it was oh, this is my room. Don't come. I mean, it was just instant. The moment my stuff was out of that room, he called dibs on it. And it's when we came back, I'm I want to get my room back. I can't. I want to put him over here. He ain't having it. That is his territory or whatever. The only room that he would probably move to, because he says it, he's when MJ goes to college, he's already making plans. He has plotted on the day that his brother leaves this house and goes to college, and he's he's getting the bigger room at that point. So he knows that this room is slightly smaller. He's I'm not going in there. I'm trying to move up in the world. I'm not trying to move down in the world. He's plotting. Literally plotting right now for the day that his brother goes to college. Asking him, are you going to go stay on the college? Are you going to go stay in the dorms? One, sir, what do you know about dorms? How do you know that that's where he would live at, for you to ask that question? So where he's he's ready to get the bigger room because he wants his gaming desk. He wants this stuff. Right now he'll say, oh, my room is better than MJ's, but he is plotting on MJ's room. So I cannot get him to come to this room, but the layout of this room is not conducive to me having multiple machines. I know, right? He is staking his claim. Oh, I used to. I am 44, and my left hip is, and I think part of that pain that I have and the issue that I have with my right hip is because I was doing so much stuff on the floor. At one point, he was trying to do something, and he was looking for the knee pads and stuff that he used when he's doing flooring and stuff, because I'm okay, I can't sit on my hip. A pillow wasn't working under my knees. So I had his knee pad things that in his work area, and I had those in my office. I'm well, you need to buy me some, because I had to do stuff. But even in this room, I can't even do the floor because it's so big. Now I have had stuff in the hallway, and even we're what the heck is going on? I'm not really needing all these machines. So at some point, we thought I was going to get done during the summer or before soccer started back. He's supposed to build me shelves going up the wall That way I can put them here the same way I did before. So it has to be on, it has to go up on this wall. And then I'm going to have a step stool, because to get to like how many shoes I need to get to that one, I'm probably going to need a step stool to get to it, but they would all feed back into the computer where I can hardwire them in. Somebody just hasn't built my shelf yet, and I'm waiting on my shelf to be built. So, but yeah, I used to do a lot of stuff on the floor, and my hip said, girl, nah, go sit down. No go Zion Imani. He is a mess. He is a mess. All right. So today was I'm waiting for him. Somebody wanted to go see Lilo and Stitch, and then How to Train the Dragon is out. And so he's like, we got to go watch both of them. So I was like, okay, we will go to the movies today. So today is not really a major like work day for me, because at some point I thought I was going to be taking my kids to the movies, because Even doesn't want to see it. So it was like, okay, we'll go in the daytime, because, you know, we save a couple coins. So we go in the daytime, you know, but he's still sleeping, because MJ likes to stay up until the crack of dawn playing on games, and because he sleeps all day and he's up all night, like he working a night shift. But I guarantee if he had to work at night, he would be, oh no, I can't do this. He would fall asleep. But this kid literally stays up all night, all morning. Even like sometimes when he goes to work or he gets up for work at 5:30, MJ is still up. So I'm waiting for him to wake up, and then we're going to go to the movies. So it's like I didn't make any plans to do a lot of like real work. So that this particular video is not so long, which I wasted my highlight on this one. I'm going to be live again, because it's been a little minute since I talked about the machines. I don't use my 3, but I'm about to pull out my 3, and I'm going to go live again, just kind of showing the machines themselves. It will be a promotion for the class for like learning the machines and how they work. We have a class called Silhouette First Cuts, which I don't really advertise as much, but it's going to take for me to show the machines to advertise for that class. So I'm going to actually come back a little bit and show the machines, which will be a lead up to, if you're trying to learn your machines, and it's learning the machines, please understand that learning the machine and learning Silhouette Studio, the program, are not the same. Okay? They are not the same. So that video is going to basically explain that too, that learning to cut and what's going on with it, how you load it, this, that, and the third is one thing. But the program and setting your design up is another. Like you can learn your machine with the pre-made design. You can't go and say the machine doesn't work, or I don't like the machine because of the program, because you can't figure out the design part. So I'm going to end up talking about that as soon as I go take a quick little break, get something to drink, and then I'll be back talking about the machines, okay? Because y'all have no questions. So I don't want to overstay my welcome. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.